Welcome to another video, Purple Political Talk here, and today we're going to be looking at the 2020 presidential election and analyzing the Battleground Map. So, I'm going to explain to you guys, the Battleground States and why we fall into that category, and we're going to talk not about who is going to go to, but how crucial that state is for either the Trump campaign or the Biden campaign. Before we get started, please give us a like and subscribe to get notified with our latest content and be up to date with our latest content. So, let's get started. So, a battleground state is defined as a state that it generally has a chance of going to either party. It's not set in stone. Now, the crucialness of a battleground state is not defined by that. It's rather, how much does one person need to win? So, can Donald Trump win the presidency without Michigan, for example? Those types of questions we're going to be asking ourselves to define how crucial a state is for someone's chances at the presidency. So, let's get started. So, we're going to go and fill in all the states with these ratings. So, if I fill in as a Republican, it's a lot more important for the Republicans. Democrat, a lot more important for the Democrats. And both, it means that it's equally as crucial for both parties. And then the green is just representing all our battleground states. So let's get started by filling in Arizona. At this point, for the Democrats, it's a very important road to the presidency of the state of Arizona. It's not completely necessary. So I'm going to put it in the Republican. It's more necessary and crucial for the Republican Party just because they don't need it as much. They have it there. They already have it there just in case that the Democrats do need the state of Arizona. However, they can win the presidency without Arizona. And you could say the Republicans can too. But I mean, without Arizona, winning the presidency is going to be quite hard for the Republican Party. When it comes to a state like Texas, it's also a state where the Republican Party is looking at a very, very, very crucial race here. I mean, the Republican Party loses Texas. At this point, they lost the election. They lost any chances at winning the presidency and essentially lost the future in Texas. And it would be quite an embarrassment, not only to them, but donors will stop donating because how could you use your one of your marquee states in Texas? And that's going to become a problem for the Republican Party in a couple years, where Texas is probably going to be consistently going blue, and they're just lost one of their biggest states, or not, if not the biggest state they have when it comes to population and electoral votes. So I mean, we're seeing one common theme here. A lot of these states are Republican crucial states. Iowa, Ohio, and Georgia are all in the same boat when it comes to being a crucial battleground state, just because first of all, they're very Republican at their core. Nonetheless, I mean, the Republicans, if they lose these three states, I mean, everything they had a chance at the presidency, out the window, which is not a good look. So, I mean, these are the states that actually do have a chance of flipping, whether it is a little bit or a lot. But, I mean, there's other states I could have included, but I didn't. But, I mean, these three states that I just mentioned, they're rural states for the most part. And the Republican Party lose their rural support. I mean, the base of the Republican Party is gone. Which, I mean, that's why it's so crucial for them. So, however, right now, I mean, states like Minnesota and New Hampshire, those are very crucial for a Democratic victory. I would say also the state of Michigan. So, right now, I mean, the state of Michigan is probably a done cause for the Republican Party. It still could flip. The chances of it are a lot lower now that the Trump campaign is not focusing on it. However, I mean, it's a crucial state for the Democrats nonetheless. Democrats lose the state of Michigan. They should say goodbye to any possibility that they had to the Republicans to hold the state. So, I mean, right now, whatever's left is what is crucial for both parties. So, you had, let's put it the lightest color. So, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Florida. So, these are different in their own ways, because they have they're very crucial. I mean, for the Republicans, losing North Carolina and Florida might be the final blow. Well, for the Democrats, if they don't win Wisconsin and Pennsylvania, that's probably not good signs either. I mean, and look, so winning the presidency at this point, you're going to have to go pass through the Rust Belt and pass through North Carolina and Florida. Joe Biden with Florida and North Carolina, I think it's a done deal. I mean, he doesn't even have to win the Rust Belt. Now, if Donald Trump wins the Rust Belt and everything else, I mean, then the Democrats have to start getting worried. Nonetheless, I mean, when looking at this map, we're thinking about crucialness. So we see, for the Republicans, it's crucial to win states like Arizona, Texas, Georgia, Ohio, Iowa. For the Democrats, it's more crucial to win Minnesota or hold on to Minnesota, Michigan, and New Hampshire. Well, I mean, both of them are equally fighting in the closest states, in my opinion. At this time, I mean, when it comes to a lot of these states, when it comes to getting to the road to the presidency, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Florida. So this is not talking about margin. So, I mean, these states are not necessarily going to be the closest. What they will be is going to be the most crucial to getting to the presidency. They're going to give the biggest chunks for them getting to the presidency. At this point in time, if the Democrats don't win those states, gonna be pretty hard. And if the Republicans don't win Florida and North Carolina, just getting a path off from there is going to be fairly difficult. So, I mean, at this point in time, we can see, first of all, the Republican Party is struggling a lot more. They have one more seat they have to, or actually two more, that they're trying to hold on crucially and make the crucial battlegrounds. And, I mean, these are battleground states, so anything can really happen. Polls are changing quickly, and, I mean, it's not a good sign for the Republicans that they're losing polls in Arizona, in Texas. They're barely winning in Georgia. I think the Democrats are winning in Ohio. The Democrats are barely winning in Iowa, where Donald Trump's actually leading in Iowa. And when it comes to Florida, Biden's leading. North Carolina, Biden's leading. The Rust Belt, Biden is leading by a lot. So it's either one, polls are somewhat inaccurate, or two, I mean, Joe Biden's just outperforming all expectations that were of him. I mean, at this point in time, Donald Trump is going to have to come up with a plan to carry some of these areas. I mean, if he wants to win the presidential election, I mean, realistically, he has to win at least 2 states of the Rust Belt. There's no other way to do it, because, I mean, the rest of the map is pretty much locked up. So, he's going to have to carry everything that he carried in 2016, plus parts of the Rust Belt, which, if you ask me, is not as easy as it seems. So, I mean, we looked at all the battlegrounds and how crucial they are. But let's see who they're now. Since we talked about the crucialness, what about who are they leading to? So let me clear the map, and I'm going to fill in the battlegrounds that we had on. So Arizona right now, it's leaning towards Biden. I mean, he's leading constantly in polls. All these different things just really do help him and his campaign. And I mean, we could be here forever. Florida's also leaning for Biden at this point. North Carolina is leaning for Biden. The Rust Belt is leaning for Biden. And I mean, it's not a good look for the Republican Party that they're losing some of these seats, with the exception, for example, Michigan and Minnesota are likely. And then for everything else, I mean, I think it's Trump is leaning in Texas, he's leaning in Georgia, he's tilting in Ohio, and he's also tilting in Iowa. So I think these are all the maps that we did have. I mean, and just by the looks of it, and we have the state of New Hampshire, who at this point is a pretty much likely state. So at this point, looking at this map compared to what they need to win, Republicans are not doing too good. I mean, they have these states that are on the verge of flipping in Iowa, in Ohio, in Texas, and Georgia. I mean, Texas, Biden's leading in polls. I mean, leading in polls doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win, but just saying that that is not good for the Trump campaign. Or in a state where the Republicans won elections by 15%, they won Senate races by even 20%, to now where they're losing, I mean, it's not a good look. So right now, this is where our battleground states stand. And I mean, generally speaking, these things can change. So, I mean, in a Biden best case scenario at this point, these battleground states will look something like this. They will look like that, like this, and like this. And then these would probably just be safe, and likely here, and then move Arizona into the likely column. And it would look very blue, the map, the battleground states. And I mean, if Biden keeps on leading, there's going to be a point of, where the Republicans might just say, okay, they might give up and just focus on other races, or they might just say, okay, let's contest some of these. So at this point, not looking too good for the Republicans. Now, if it were to look a little better, I mean, the best case scenario at this point for the Republican Party is looking a little similar to this, where they get some of these states down the margins, and they're able to actually maybe carry some of these states. So, for example, Arizona go tilt to the Republicans. Maybe Texas go lean in the best case scenario for them. Georgia go lean. Florida go lean. Or yeah, go lean because I put those go lean, and then North Carolina go tilt. I mean, and then these two states go likely. And that would just be a lot better for them. And I mean, at this point in time, battleground states is something that we need to discuss considering how close we're getting from election season. But I mean, just by analyzing what it looks like in a best case scenario for the Republicans, we can tell they're having major problems in the Midwest with the support they gained. And here's the thing. The Midwest is still going to have more support for Trump than it did for Romney in 2012. The reason is because so many voters flipped. Now, what's going to happen? A lot of them are going to go back, but still, the race is going to be somewhat closer than it was in the past. So, that's a thing to note with a lot of these states. So, they might have flipped for Trump compared to 2012 and 2008. However, I mean, not everyone that voted for Trump didn't vote for Obama. Not all of those people are going to flip. So, I mean, this was actually a very interesting video to make because we looked at the key battlegrounds and what they mean. And I think, honestly, I really enjoyed making this video. So, if you guys enjoyed it, please give it a huge thumbs up, like and subscribe, and turn on post notifications to get notified when I post my next video. Hope you enjoyed the video, and goodbye.